Grande tatas. I'm a big fan. I'm just saying. Big fan, bro.
Huge fan. Hi, there's my wife.
Speaking of grande tatas.
Hi there. All right, bye. You going with mom?
Dude, just like that, bro. That's how you take control of the situation, Roberts.
There it is.
Right.
Dude, you just gave the look and she was gone, bro. You're like, hi.
Oh, you see the time?
See the time? Oh, my child. So, yeah, my wife just gave me the look. She's going upstairs, taking the children up. And just as Mr. Bauer was giving his vernacular on the female memiargas, that's for my Spanish friends.
Otherwise, another Espanol term is the grande tatas.
The grande tatas. And I don't speak ill of my wife. I do objectify my wife, though, but in a good way. I love my wife, and I love objectifying her, and she loves me objectifying her.
Dude, that's pretty objectification shit going on there, bro. What's up?
Objectively speaking,
you've objectified the objectables.
Dude, I'm telling you guys, I'm starting to do the face when I'm at work to people and shit.
And I have no objection. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, Rocky's superior comes in. Hey, Rocky, how's things going wrong? He goes, what?
Yeah. Payroll sucks this week, bro. What now? What's up? All right, gentlemen. Okay, just so everybody knows who's watching, we got Bauer. And we never know what the hell Bauer's bringing to the table. We don't want to know. We just want to do it. And because we want this to be raw. You know what I'm saying? Raw. What now?
Raw. R. Raw future... backwards is R.
The future is raw. Prepare yourself. Get your favorite lube. Get your handy wipes. Make sure that you are properly lubricated.
Wow, bro.
I have no idea.
All right, gentlemen, let's do this. We are at the time. Let me get all the screen stuff ready here. Spreaker view. Let me do a transition. Boom. God damn, I'm looking good today. What's up?
Yeah, you got a little... you got a gleam on the end of your schnoz there, buddy.
Yeah, I just put lotion on my face.
Yeah, every time you turn your head a little bit, I have to go.
Yeah, I'm going to get my sunglasses out here.
It's anti-wrinkle cream. You know what I'm saying? I put it somewhere else, too.
I have a pressed shirt on today.
You do got to, because you got a lunch date and you're going to get drunk for lunch.
Yeah, that's tomorrow.
All right, let's do this, boys. Are you? Oh, that's right. Here we go, gentlemen. 5, 4, 3.
The entrepreneurial spirit is to dream and to do. We are building America.
You say building America?
Hey, I know that guy.
Which one?
The one wanking in the background. Professional wanker.
You got
the one yelling at me with the silent scream.
Are we not professionals here, gentlemen?
We are professionals. That's why sometimes we talk over openers.
Scotty's like, did he just say building America?
I thought he said gilded America.
Maybe
gilded,
he did.
As in gilded,
Maybe he did.
Gelding.
Maybe he did.
No, gilding and gelding and glittering, twattering.
Clitting? Is that what you just said? Clitting?
I don't even know what the hell that was. It was playing. I couldn't understand it in my headset.
Dude, what's going on with you?
And I thought we all fall silent at the same time.
I think it said clittering. Yes.
Is that a word?
It could be.
Well, actually, I understand that it's a fashion accessory.
I think it's an action.
I think it's a pronoun.
I identify with it.
I identify as like glittering.
Sounds like one of those bourgeois progressive terms that that
guys
comes in with, all those different new terms that we can't figure out what the hell they're talking about.
Guys, I just really want you to stop with the sexist talk at the beginning of the show because I'm very sensitive to sexist talk, especially when it's rumbling, and it just makes me very uncomfortable. I am one of those people who is very uncomfortable with sexist talk.
Does that come with extraneous blood flow?
Scotty, will you show us your nipples?
Would I?
I don't know, folks. You know what? I have a feeling that this might just potentially. I want to try to bring something today that I don't know. It's going to be a train wreck. I got this weird feeling shit's going to go down on this one. I don't know what to say right now.
It's just to get out of the mode of talking politics and mass shootings and all the stupid people we talk to out there, and you have to give reasoned response to people who don't know what the word reasoned means.
White privilege.
I'm done with it.
White privilege.
I get your point of privilege right here.
Point of privilege. Sorry, I said white privilege.
Chest clapping.
So wait a minute, Robert. So let me fix what you just said when you referenced all the stupid people we are talking to out there. Let me fix that. All the stupid people you are talking to out there, because I watch your comments on Facebook, bro. I see what's going down every single day. It's the best entertainment for me. So I want to thank you for that, brother.
Dude, have you noticed how reasoned I am to some of the stupidity out there?
It almost troubles me because sometimes I believe you just need to tell somebody to shut up.
It's like somebody who says, okay, this is kind of changing it a little, paraphrasing. The president, he's just an orange racist.
Oh.
And I go, well, enough with the orange epithets. Why don't you just give me your facts and evidence in hand? And they come back, 2 days later and go, here's my facts and evidence. He's a racist and a narcissist. Everybody knows it. Boom.
Bauer, let me ask you something. When you see conversations like this, on a complete serious note here, and Scotty, chime in. When you guys see, when you have somebody that's trying to have an intellectual dialect, where you're just trying to have a conversation, no matter how much we disagree on things. We got people in our chat room that completely disagree viciously on certain topics, but yet they can remain civil, 100% civil, and be like, okay, I respect your opinion. What does that tell you, gentlemen, when you guys research data, when you guys research, or when we research facts, when we try to bring this to the table, and the people we're trying to have conversations with, the only thing they could bring to the table is the orange orangutan or the orange man or something that's so seventh grade. What does that tell you for what we represent here in this country and globally? Because people in multiple countries do it. Where's our intellectual ability gone in the last how many decades?
There's a couple of things there. From my perspective, one, as soon as I see that individual narrow myopic focus on a particular meme or a groupthink, then I know that the conversation potential for going anywhere is extremely limited. So that's my first flag, as we've talked about before. Mm-hmm. If that is the starting point in the conversation, then you absolutely are going to have nothing but either a frustrating or highly entertaining discourse with the said individual who's ever made that comment. To your point about, what does that say about us globally? I think that there's a combination of a lot of laughter going on around in different countries, watching the discourse in the social fabric that we all encounter and deal with daily. And I gotta thank Brother Roberts, because one of the things that's caused me to do more research in is all the different ways in which you can display the need for popcorn.
Oh, yeah.
Because
dude, yeah.
I mean, it's just one of those things where you go, this could be interesting. I've got I got 30 minutes to kill. I'll sit and pay attention to some of the bizarre nonsense that's going on. But for me, as I've said before, I try to stay out of the political, simply because it's not only it used to be entertaining. Now it's gotten to the point to where it's boring and annoying. And there's much more important shit going on. And I think that a lot of this social political discourse is designed more as a distraction than anything else. So that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is things that are, at least from my perspective, are a hell of a lot more important than all of this, trying to deal with people who have these myopic views of the political and social discourse that they're engaged in.
I think it just boils down to you can't fix stupid. And sometimes trying to argue with it is, like trying to argue with a pig in mud.
Oh, damn, bro.
I'm serious, and I don't mean to make an untoward comparison there. It's like, have you ever stood in a farmyard and tried to have a conversation with a pig and ask him why he likes to roll in the mud and why he likes mud? He'll look at you, he'll grunt every now and then, might even fart, might even threaten you, but he never really says anything intelligent. He just goes back to the mud.
And he smells like shit, bro. What's up now? Come on.
Wow.
And the one thing that I like to use as an analogy is when you talk to some of these people, it's like trying to play chess with a pigeon. All they do is strut around the board, knock the pieces over, shit all over the place, and declare victory at the end of it.
Okay,
and it's like, well,
pretty much it.
I think
I don't think that to me, it's a waste of time.
I think I stabbed myself in the face.
Rocky, don't hurt yourself. See, he's got a weapon of self-mass infliction there.
This is the new one. Bauer. This is the new one right here.
Yeah, I saw that. That thing looks like it would do some serious damage.
Always reminds me of the Untouchables. Do we have a team player here? I'm just wondering, you on the team? Or are you not on the team? Whatever he said.
I felt that shit, Robert. That was really weird. I'm on the team, bro. I'm on the team. All right, so Bauer, take us, because I know sometimes we get caught up in this stuff and we never get to the points on this. So what is the title for this broadcast?
Well, I was thinking about it, and it's really, if you think about some of the things that we've talked about in informatica and about the ways in which data is being used and manipulated, and where we're going in the future with the technocracy. We've heard a lot of talk about 5G, Internet of Things, artificial general intelligence. And I think that there's one of the things that people need to understand about some of these technology terms is some of them are, temporary. They're fleeting. They're going to change. And particularly as the different types of technology start to, get rolled out. But there's drivers behind all of this that is going on in the economy, the global economy, that is going to precipitate a lot of this technology deployment. And I think that's one of the important things that people need to understand. So I've been thinking about it from the standpoint of, is your identity your future currency? In other words, the way in which the monetary system is currently working, all of the difficult, challenging things that are going on within the global financial system, and how technology is potentially going to be used to mitigate some of this. I don't know if you've seen a lot of the news, particularly on Zero Hedge. They do a lot of great articles, some really good research, a lot of good journalism. And, we keep hearing the recurring talk about, this global financial crash. Where and when is the dollar going to end up being the fiat currency that has lost its way? In history, there's been a pretty reliable cycle where, different currencies come and go. And it's typically around 90 years. You've got about a 90-year cycle where a currency will come in, and then that currency will fall apart for some reason, and another one will replace it. So we've been hearing about this for the dollar for at least the last couple of decades, it comes and goes in cycles. Now, I think that one of the most important aspects that's going on out there that people may not be paying as much attention to as they should is what's known as derivatives. And in the derivative market, there's one bank in particular, Deutsche Bank, who has somewhere close to 50 trillion, that's trillion with a T, in these derivatives. And for people who don't know what derivatives are, it's essentially, it's taking debt and splitting it up so many times that it's now become diluted, as well as it becomes something that becomes a high exposure.
And so folks, I just want to insert something here. That folks, hang on to your butts, because that was all in answer to Rocky's question. So, Professor, what are you going to title this show today? Wait till we get to the meat. Go ahead.
Yeah,
now.
we're just scratching around the orifice here, and getting the dingleberries off of the follicle extensions. So here's something that I want to start with this, and this is the point that I was just making regarding Deutsche Bank. Stone, you're going to have to wait, buddy. I'm on the air.
Stone, that's unique that you call your dog Stone, bro. What's up?
Oh, he is a stone bonehead and a stoner to the max. Yes,
Dude.
you are, buddy. So this is why this is important, at least from my perspective, and it's something that I think people need to pay attention to, because you're going to see a lot more of this. This whole thing of derivatives, of basically diluted debt that's spread across the global economy and the banking and financial systems, is a huge hole that it's basically going to be a black hole if something isn't done to mitigate this loss. Now, when it hits, when these people start calling in their money, and it's already started with the Deutsche Bank model over the last couple of weeks, there's been a couple of huge hedge funds that have started to pull the money out of Deutsche Bank because they're scared. They're looking at it going, this is starting to get a little risky. So Deutsche Bank doesn't have the actual liquidity in order to cover this $50 trillion in derivatives. So the potential tumbling and falling apart of the financial system is most likely going to start with Deutsche Bank and this derivative model. And when there's a whole bunch of... Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I accidentally hit a button and it started playing something. Go ahead, Bauer.
So what's the domino effect of this has the potential to just have the entire system fall apart. Now, it's been around for a while and it just keeps getting worse. Now, even though we've got global growth, we've got a lot of really good things going on in the economy, obviously here in the United States, there's a lot of infighting going on within the EU. You've got Brexit, you've got Italy, you've got Greece, you've got a number of countries that are starting to say, you know what? This EU, the euro currency is something that, and the control that the EU has had over the member states is starting to get to the point to where they're all just starting to say, you know what, we want to go back to our own currency. We want the sovereignty of our own ability to control our financial destiny. Now, this is, unless you pay attention to these things, you really don't hear much about it, because the airwaves and the social media is just polluted with all this political crap. And that, again, to me is nothing more than, I'm going to have to go slap that dog. Stone, that's enough. Go lay down. You're going to have a number of individual dominoes within the string of the way the dominoes are set up that will start to pull out, which will make the entire tumbling of all of the dominoes look even more dramatic. You're going to have these individual countries trying to go back to their own sovereignty, which is what the EU essentially, when they established that, and for those who haven't seen it, look up the Article of Madrid, I think is what the name of it is, and it's fascinating because it was written back in the 50s, and it was before the EU was even a thought or a glimmer in a collective eye out of Brussels. But this entire model of, and again, you can look at the EU, in my opinion, is similar to what you see going on in the left side of the ideology of politics. It's a collective inclusive of diversity. And you can't do that with, in my opinion, with the normal human condition, because it's antithetical to the way that people think and the way that they function. Going back to, breaking down what is the informatica, how do individuals and people think and work. And they're, to me, people think the human condition is set to be a pattern recognition system, and we suck at it. And that is one of the dilemmas that we have in having any kind of reasonable social discourse across whatever the subject matter may be. So you've got this essentially a crumbling financial system that has to have an exit. There has to be a way in which it will be able to be controlled, if you will, kind of like the controlled disclosure that we're talking about in the UFO or unidentified aerial phenomena category. So technology, I believe, at least from what I'm seeing at this point, is going to be the way in which this will be mitigated and managed. And this is where the whole crypto assets, cryptocurrencies, blockchain, hash graph, all these different types of new technologies to digitize assets is coming into play. And this ties back to this title that I was mentioning is your identity your future currency? And the sovereignty of maintaining your own identity in this new digital asset world that essentially is going to be potentially the savior for this failing fiat model, where the dollar is still extremely strong. It's the petrodollar. Most things are backed against the dollar. But when Nixon took us off the gold standard back in 71, he screwed the pooch. He set the future up for a lot of this collapse that we're about to potentially see, although it may be, again, a controlled collapse.
What is the likelihood of a possible grid going down, apocalyptic America, where, everything from solar flares to a war to terrorism that takes down the grid? If we are a digital society or a digital race, maybe. And by the way, I use the race in its proper form. Everybody of every color is part of one race. None of us are giraffes. We're all humans. So what happens if the human race experiences something that is not as far-fetched as we might think? A volcanic eruption, a solar flare, a something that takes out the grid. Now, it can be rebuilt eventually, but if everything's digital, what do we go back to? I'm going to trade you. I got red rocks. My red rocks are worth more than your blue rocks.
Well, that's a great question, and I'm glad you brought that up, because it ties in a number of different things into what I call the nexus or the confluence of all these different potentialities. First of all, it's very clear that the dependency we have from a technical perspective on everything in life now, everything has become digital. And your identity, your pictures, how you conduct your own finances, who you communicate with, everything now has gone into that digital realm. Any of that can obviously be taken out by a single EMP or a CME or a major volcanic eruption. And one of the things that's quite fascinating is if you look at the undersea cables, how much of the internet is actually carried through these cables, and the amount of work Microsoft is now. They just announced the funding for a new line that's going to link Europe and Africa, and they keep bringing more and more lines down into Africa. Well, when they first started laying these cables back in the 50s and 60s, and actually it was before that, because they did it for the telegraph. The telegraph was the reason that the initial first undersea cables were laid. Those are protected, if you will, from EMPs and CMEs and any other type of catastrophe, except for potentially an undersea volcano, because they're so far down in the ocean. They're on the floor, and they're not that big. They're like 2 to 3 inch cables with a bunch of fiber optics in them.
Do you know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of, and this is the second Gilligan's Island reference I'm going to make this week. Remember the Gilligan's Island episode where they had the big cable wash up onto the island, and they thought they could tap into it to make phone calls to Hawaii?
Oh, yeah.
That's what that made me think of. That's all. That's a anecdotal.
As a matter of fact, wasn't it the professor who was the one who was trying to figure that out?
Yes, it was, with Ginger on one arm and Marianne on the other.
Dude, I'm a big fan of... no, not Ginger. I don't like Ginger. I like Marianne. Don't worry about it.
Ginger still was pretty damn hot, but Marianne was where it was at.
So we got 3 minutes, boys. Go ahead, Bauer.
Oh, yeah. So, yes, Scotty, the whole issue of this stuff being potentially wiped out and all of us going back to hunter-gatherers is extremely high. It would have to happen on a global basis, but as I was mentioning these cables, these ideas of potential catastrophic technical trauma and a tsunami of just complete blackout. They've known about this for a long time. There's a lot of redundancy in the system. And I think those that, refer to the deep state and the various cabals within the elite that to me are nothing more than it's like a mafia family.
Oh, do it easy, easy with the mafia references, bro.
Easy. No,
Yeah,
I didn't mean that.
I think there are actually a lot of Sicilians involved in this. You know what I'm saying?
Wouldn't you love to see, doesn't a little piece of you, since we're coming up on the break, doesn't a little piece of you wish the grid would go down? Wouldn't it be interesting to go back to a life where we didn't have all this technology and all of a sudden here we are thrust immediately into pioneer days?
Yeah, but dude, I agree with you. But think of the carnage that would happen when this does happen, with the rioting, with these. We'll realize how many humans are truly savages and how our rule of law have kept people in check from being savages and anarchists and all that other shit. But yes, Scotty, you're right. Sometimes I think we need a reset. If not that, an asteroid. You know what I'm saying, bro?
And we've had we've had multiple resets. I think there's probably been at least a dozen over a few 100,000 years. It seems to be something that comes and goes, whether we want it to or are ready for it or not. But I'll say this, Scotty, to your point, if we had one of those now, the people that would most likely survive are the people that are the hunter gatherers now.
The people that support the Second Amendment are the ones that would survive.
Yeah, the people that know how to grow their own food, the people that have their own ammunition, the people that know how to start a lawnmower. Okay, the people that would really suffer today are the ones that spend their face plants into their phones all day long, and that's where the actual carnage and mass chaos would come from. Is those folks, because they'd lose their shit.
Remember all the Y2K talk back 1999? We had our reenacting group that was 18th century, and we do all this outdoor stuff, living outside, cooking, all of this. And we said, if Y2K hits and the grid goes down, we're going to be the ones to survive. Yeah. So
I'll survive because I'm not scared, bros. You know what I mean?
I'm not.
It's because you got a bat.
I do. I got 2 bats.
Yeah, 2 bats.
You'll be out there swinging and dinging.
I'd be doing something about it. You know what's up now? What's up? All right, folks. Hey, we're coming to the bottom of the hour break. We got the professor, our brother at arms, the host of the Nexus Radio program, coming soon to Odyssey Radio, folks. We will talk about that when we come back during the next segment. Rocky Stucci Situation Room, Mojo 50 Radio. Stand by, folks. And we out.
I'm clapping.
Hey, I was noticing that when I was talking, all I was seeing was Scotty's face. Is there something going on there? Yeah.
No, when they're highlighted with the lime green around the box, that's who the audience sees.
Right, and that's who I was seeing was just.
Oh, see, now I only saw yours when you were talking. Yeah.
Okay.
Like right now, I see it's highlighted around mine. Then I'll shut up.
And I'll talk, and now
there it is.
Are you
now it's on you.
Well, I'm not getting the little green box on the little blue box, so
I don't know. I was pretty memorized by your sexiness, Bauer, when you were talking. I was being hypnotized by your baby blues. You know what I'm saying, bro? What's up?
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
The baby blues have done me right for a long time.
Well, Rocky might be lying. I think he was looking at porn over there while you were talking.
I actually was.
I noticed he was glued to that second screen. So there must be something really good on there.
I was doing some show business, bro. What's up, man? What?
Oh, look at the defensiveness comes. I was doing show business, bro. I was working.
It sounded to me like he was doing some show business.
You said before we started to make sure we have plenty of lube. I'm just saying, bro. I'm
there it is. Yeah. He's on Amazon.
You got to have it there.
Damn it.
All right. We got about 45 seconds. 45.
Yeah. Oh, I'm strong.
Scotty is not plugged into his internet. He is going Wi-Fi because he's prepared all the time, Bauer. You know that.
Yeah. I've come to depend on that. And
So when you're starting at an event and you invite the cannoli and the event starts at 1, you actually tell Scotty the event starts at 11. And that way he'll show up on time at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, that's probably the right thing to do. I always, when I told somebody that there was a meeting, I'd always tell them it's a half hour earlier than the meeting actually is.
I wonder if I should boot him out so he can come back in, because he froze up and he's probably swearing. Wait, who just messaged me? And we got to get going here. Let me just make sure that was. Oh, yeah, he just signed out there. All right. I don't know who that is. Oh, man, dude, I missed doing radio with you, bro. It's been like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's
I don't feel complete, dude. I don't feel complete when I don't do radio with you.
I have kind of that same feeling, and I'm looking forward to doing that on the Nexus and having you on there.
Dude, I don't know what I can contribute to what you're doing, bro. I can just.
You're gonna you throw the real and the raw in, and that's what makes a difference.
All right, dude. Let's do this shit. All right, let me do this. Bada boom. Yep, cannoli, freaking cannoli. All right, brother. Here we go. 5, 4, 3.
No.
Oh, yes, folks. Welcome back to the second segment of the Situation Room, broadcasting right here on, check it out. We are also being played on Odyssey Radio. Now, folks, if you're into the Star Wars stuff, the Star Trek stuff, the paranormal stuff, the UFO stuff, the Bigfoot stuff, conspiracy stuff, get on over to Odyssey Radio. It's ODYSY1.com. Download their app through your app store and make sure you show your love and support for Odyssey Radio as well as Mojo 50. Now, if you're listening, we are being played at midnight Eastern time on Mojo 50 and iHeartRadio and all other platforms. And we're also being played again, rebroadcast at 6 a.m. Eastern time. So 11 Central and 5 a.m. Central, midnight Eastern and 6 a.m. Eastern on Mojo. And
that is a whole lot of meatball right there.
Dude, it took some serious thought process there. Now, we got a couple announcements here. We've already talked about it. It's already been announced. It's not a secret, but I want to make sure that everybody is aware about the cannoli and the professor and what they have coming up. So, Professor, let's start with you. You are going to be doing the Nexus, as people can see in your background is your show logo. Tell everybody about your program. When is it going to start? And what is going to be the content you're going to be driving home to everybody?
Well, I have you to thank for that and greatly appreciate it. And it sounds as though, at least from the initial schedule, that I'll be sandwiched between the cannoli and the meatball.
Dude, you're going to be sandwich. What's up, sandwich? Come on, what's up?
He's like the provolone in your bun.
Well, I was going to say, if you want the real meat, then you're going to get the meat be a sandwich between the two of them, because it's going to start on August 20th. That will be again between cannoli and Stucci, and it's going to be initially on Tuesdays and Fridays, and we'll be expanding that as we go along. The Nexus is about the intersectionality of all of the different things within the informatica. So that means, in plain English, that there's all these different important aspects of knowledge and information that stand on their own, but have connecting dots. They have places where they intersect. And unless you look at them as you put them on the table and see where there may be some connection, you kind of miss it. So the goal of the show is to take those individual points, see where they connect, and examine those connections and see what new things come as a result of that awareness that, hey, this actually is connected to this in an odd and strange way. And it's similar to what we're talking about here for this particular show. So again, Tuesdays, 10 p.m. Eastern, and Friday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern. And I am so looking forward to this. I'm actually looking forward to not only doing the show with a number of amazing guests. Jeff Harmon's going to be on. Brooks Agnew, John Herlosky, Vilan Alagra. I mean, all kinds of really cool people that some of you may have not heard of before, but are highly intelligent and bring some very interesting nuggets of knowledge to the discourse that we will have. So it's essentially the theme is interesting conversations about interesting subjects with interesting people. And looking forward to it. I'm really excited.
Well, we're happy for you, brother. And you will now. It'll be played live on Odyssey, and Odyssey does have a Spreaker where those shows will be automatically uploaded. But will you also have a platform for all your past shows? Are you going to be doing YouTube stuff? Are you going to be? Do you have a podcast page set up yet, or do you need the meatball to kind of help a brother out here?
I need a little meatball with the sauce that I'm stirring up, just to thicken it up a little bit, make it nice and tasty and have that, ooh, I want some more of that kind of shit. So Dude. Yes, I do need you. So you and I are going to get offline and hopefully you'll give me the nuggets of knowledge that I need to make sure that shit comes off. But yes, there will be YouTube. I do have a page where the initial shows will be, they'll be stored because I believe in this future of the independent content creators. And if you don't manage your own content and keep it, you can go on any platform. And in fact, I'm not only going to be on YouTube, it'll be on BitChute, on Minds, the intellectual dark web, IDW, and a number of others. So I'm going to spread it wide because I do like to spread it when I'm spreading it.
Dude, I'm totally turned on right now. I can't explain what's going on between my legs.
Intersectionality sounds like porn for intellectuals.
And sticking up the sauce, bro.
Yeah, and choking down nuggets of truth.
That was like the most freaking sexual, intelligent thing I've heard in a long time. Dude, I'm totally horny right now, bro.
I know. I was gonna say, is it wrong that I'm stimulated?
I suppose horny was the wrong word. I should have said stimulated. All right, Roberts. Hey, check this out. Now, Roberts, you're going to be coming on 5 nights a week on the Odyssey platform. So give everybody the Roberts program that is coming. Intrepid Radio coming to Odyssey. Roberts, give it to us.
That's right. Roberts Rules of Order. So we're going to be doing the Intrepid Radio program, another good revival of an old show. And that's going to be airing on Odyssey Monday nights starting August 19th, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We're eventually going to be able to take calls. I may not do calls right away because I want to get used to the format. We will be simulcasting. You'll be able to see it also in the YouTube channel as usual. And broadcasting, of course, nationally and internationally, all over the world. And so you'll be able to tune in. A lot of the topics, not going to be so much politics. That's going to be what I do with Rocky on his show, The Situation Room. Not to say I will not hit politics, but I'm going to be hitting a lot of the more weird stuff that we encounter.
Weird is cool, bro.
I love weird. It's from the paranormal to the metaphysical to tarot stuff to monsters, geeks, magic, all of those things.
Bro.
And let's get a little esoteric, and we might even have John D. on as a guest.
John D.
How'd you dig his ass up?
We once, for Intrepid Magazine, we had Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, an interview with Arthur Conan Doyle. That was a good one.
Oh, that reminds me. Do you remember the Steve Allen show that was on for a while called Meeting of the Minds?
I do. That's
that
how
was
old I am.
That's phenomenal. If people haven't seen it, look it up on YouTube. He would have these actors portray these different figures throughout history.
Yes.
And then have them sit around the table and he'd toss a nugget of discussion out in the middle of them. And these guys would do a phenomenal job of getting into character of the particular personality. And then they would discuss it. And Steve Allen was just one of the best.
I'm really looking forward to my forthcoming interview with Thomas Jefferson on the show. Date to be announced.
All right.
Get Jefferson and Madison on together. Those two.
Oh man, that would be a hot show, wouldn't it?
Dude, you could probably in the paranormal field, you can probably find somebody who's going to claim the title of being reincarnated as one of them guys. So they can probably speak in representation. You know what I'm saying there?
Or a good psychic medium who could relay messages.
Dude, I'm all about that. We should actually do that.
And I'm not mocking this at all. And I don't know if I brought this up on my show or Situation Room, Rocky, but I had a psychic medium, somebody I really trust who is very good, said they had Humphrey Bogart talking to me once.
Oh.
And threw out a few lines, and you know, you always doubt. You don't know what you're getting, but hey, if a psychic medium can call up my grandpa, why can't a psychic medium call up Humphrey Bogart if he's willing to talk?
Totally, bro.
Yeah, just get a couple of you know, those really good channelers that can, you know, summon the spirit and essentially become the embodiment of said character and individual throughout history. I mean, just look at Stucci's face right now.
Yeah, what's up now? Come on, take a look at this shit right here, bro.
Tell me there's not something channeled there.
There is definitely something channeled.
I can feel it channeling through something.
There's something in his channel that is just it illuminates, and you can see it when that face comes out. It's like there's a glow.
Dude,
there's an existential thing that happens.
He's not as good looking, but he's like Yul Brynner. Yul Brynner filled the screen when he walked onto the movie screen. He didn't have to say a word. He was just like,
"The hell you mean I'm not as good looking, bro? What's up with that crap, bro?
You got a bigger nose.
Don't worry about my nose, dude. Dude. Okay, let me tell you something about the beak. Okay.
All right. You tell me about the
dude. Chicks dig this shit because they get double action. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Oh,
wow. Okay.
All right,
and
check
the
this out.
Chat room lights up.
It lights up. Come on, what's up? Give me a hug. Oh. I lost camera 3. What's up?
Yeah, there's camera 2.
I'm gonna jazz clap.
I didn't even see it, Robert. I saw a dog tail going behind.
All right, I'm gonna jazz clap for you now. There it goes, just like that. Because I can't make any noise, so I don't offend anybody in the room.
No, you got to do that.
This is my jazz clap. See.
Wait,
I
do it,
like
Robert.
that.
Do it,
See,
Robert.
that one works for me.
Wait, do it again, Bauer. Wait, you got to say something first.
Hey, you know, you see this? This is my directional bullshit finder, and it works, you know, multiple ways. I can go. It's intersectional. It's non-gender specific, and it is non-intellectually determined. I mean,
and it will not be taken down by the grid falling.
No, you can take the grid down, and these babies still work.
Still working.
Wow.
They take a licking,
You know,
and keep on flipping.
You know, you get one of these going like this, see, right? And then you pull it back down a little bit. And then for those of you that, you know, are still trying to figure out which fluid you are in the trans space, you can pull out the lipstick and you can put it on.
Wow.
Dude, I am so turned on right now, dude. Did you see the structural balance of his lips when he was rubbing his finger with his lips?
I saw that. It's almost as if it's well practiced.
I am so turned on right now, bro.
It's well used. It's well used. I've had far too many opportunities to make sure that that's working.
All right, hey, before we continue, folks, you can support your values with veteran-led Patriot Mobile, America's only conservative cell phone company, providing reliable nationwide coverage. It's easy to switch. Keep your same phone number, bring your own device, or buy a new one. Enjoy no hidden fees, no roaming fees, and no liberal agenda. At Patriot Mobile, more than $2 million has been used to support your constitutional rights. Imagine what we could do with you on our side when you switch to Patriot Mobile. With unlimited talk and text plans starting as low as $25 a month. Don't wait, folks. Visit patriotmobile.com/mojo50. patriotmobile.com/mojo50. Now, Bauer, I have something here in front of me, and I'm just going to read the title of the headline. I want to know if this correlates with where we're trying to go in this conversation. The currency of the future is personal data. That's the headline.
That's exactly right. That's why I was saying that your identity is your future currency. So the sovereignty of your identity is going to be implemented in a way, at least from the data I'm seeing right now, where, and we're already seeing some of this. I mean, what was that name of that Russian program where it turned everybody into ancient folks that came up a few weeks ago? I don't know if it was all over social media.
What?
So, there was this. In fact, just go on to Facebook or any of your social platforms, and it's a Russian. I can't think of the name of it. Russian. It was made by a bunch of Russian cats, and I got to tell you, people who have been caught up in the narrative of how bad and evil Russia is, those brothers in the science space, have nailed some amazing stuff. They are extremely intelligent and are doing things beyond what some of the things that are going on in the West, and the vaunted respect that's given to the Western science and academic side. The Russians, keep an eye on them, because they are some smart cats, and they're doing some amazing things. Everything from toroidal science and physics to software and writing all kinds of amazing things. But this particular thing that I'm talking about is an app that somebody over there made, and I think it was probably a little collective, and it essentially takes your picture now and then ages you into the future.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Celebrities have been using it, nincompoops have been using it, but essentially, because people didn't pay attention to what the app said, they didn't realize that because if you used it, they had full rights in perpetuity for whatever you used it for and whatever the results were. So this goes back to the sovereignty of the identity. The sovereignty of self, of the individual, is going to be where the battleground is of the future, in my opinion. And it ties back to this global financial set of circumstances and how I think that they're trying to take technology and use it to mitigate the downfall and the destruction that the derivatives are going to cause. And they're simply going to try and take these assets that are not backed by anything other than a whole bunch of signatures on papers that have been divvied up across way too many people, and they're going to try to turn it into a crypto-based asset. And this is what you're hearing about things like Bitcoin and Litecoin, and there's some really good ones out there that have some amazing, great open source software that's built behind it, and essentially what they're promoting it as, and I think this is where the global financial folks are going to try to take advantage of this, is that is the whole crypto asset and blockchain model. The theme behind it is that it's trustless. Meaning you don't have to trust anything other than the system. Whereas today you have to put your trust into an institution, into their assets, into their liquidity, their ability to back all this stuff. And I know it sounds, like a bunch of mishmash, and it's kind of mind numbing, but it is, if you think about it, the entire world works on money. If money isn't around in whatever the hell you're doing, you're probably not going to be doing it.
So would this be a form of like a surveillance capitalism?
Well, this is I got to tell you, this is why I love doing shows with you guys. You're so insightful, and you actually get the words that are coming out of my mouth. You think about what you just said, Rocky, is analogous to what's going on in China right now with the social credit system. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that model, in some way, shape, or form, is going to be tied to this digital asset and digital sovereignty of the individual representation. So going forward, there's going to be a way in which all of us are going to have the sovereignty of the individual, the sovereignty of your identity. And that's why I was saying that your identity will be the future currency. And if you think about it now, it's nothing really different than the way we work today. All of your banking, all of your insurance, all of the things that you do are in a digital format in some way, shape, or form. So what this technology, I would say it's kind of an evolution, but I think that it's most definitely, as we talked about in the first episode of Informatica, it's a disruptive transformation. And it's going to be in essentially taking and having a collective of everything that we are now, our banking, our everything that we do online, all of our communications are going to be wrapped around this defensible sovereignty of the individual. And that's the only way that, one, it's going to work, and two, that people are going to take the adoption. Because it's being forced, we have no choice. This is coming. How it actually unfolds in the details still obviously being worked out. But in a general sense, everything that we do today is going to be essentially pulled together into a single identity of the individual, which then can be verified. And this is where the technologies in the crypto asset world, like blockchain, is going to provide that sovereignty. Because, and at the same time, it's also something that's very scary, because the way the blockchain works is that it's a distributed ledger. So there are multiple hundreds, thousands, millions of copies of every transaction that you do. And it doesn't have to be a financial transaction. It can be a smart contract.
Medical
It can
stuff.
be in the form of, right. It can be in the form of original content creation, which is another issue that will be addressed by this technology evolution. Right now, you have Article 13 over in the EU, and a year ago, you had the GDPR that was implemented over in Europe. And those two, well, we'll start with GDPR. GDPR is a new rule that says that the provider, the platform, if you will, has to provide the ability to say that there is security on the content that flows across that platform. So there was a whole bunch of new rules that were implemented. I was deep in the middle of it with the data security consulting I was doing last year. And we had to, being even a US based company, we had to affirm to the EU, anybody that was doing business as an individual or as a company within the European Union, we had to prove to them that we were GDPR compliant. And what was kind of cool about it is we didn't have to do shit, because it had to do with which direction the transaction was coming. And because we were US based, our transactions were coming in. So the originator of the transaction had to be the one that was compliant. We just had to say, yeah, we got it, and we've got our data secure. Now you have Article 13, which is even more pervasive in the sense of content. So what Article 13 does is it says you have to provide a provenance that you are the originator of this content. And this is where YouTube and all these different platforms started to get their posterior orifice in a pucker, because YouTube can't do anything about that. There's nothing that they, in and of themselves as a platform, can say, this is original content. And the only place that they get people is copyright strikes. If they know that there is a content originator that owns that content somewhere, and it primarily happens in the film and music industry. There's not a lot of the plagiarizing activities yet as it relates to that kind of censorship, but you're seeing it all across, particularly in music. And I don't know if you guys saw this latest lawsuit with Taylor Swift and I don't even know who this guy is. It was a music lawsuit between Taylor and, can't think of his name, but he was some Christian dude, and they went to court. And there was 3 or 4 little notes that were common, but not even expressed or in the same sound or sonic frequency.
I heard about this.
And Taylor lost, and the 2 songs are completely different. There's nothing remotely except for these 3 or 4 little notes. Mm-hmm. That kind of shit is going to become more prominent and prevalent, because the content origination and the provenance of that content is going to be, again, a sovereignty issue. So you start with the sovereignty of the individual. Can you prove it's you? Are you the originator of this transaction, of this particular image, of this video, of this song, of these words, whatever it might be? And the digital technology, the technocracy that we're seeing being implemented now, is the way in which they're going to try to control this. And there really isn't any other way to do it. There's probably better processes and better systems that can do it in a cleaner and maybe a little bit more comfortable way. But I got to tell you, folks, it's coming, and there's nothing that we can do to stop it. The only thing we can do is be as aware of it as possible and mitigate the individual exposure to the, let's say, the malintent use of your own content. And this is going to roll out. We're going to see this over the next 3 to 5 years. It's going to hit hard. It's going to hit fast. We're already seeing it with the 5G technology rollout. They're already working on 6G, which I think they probably recognized early on that because of the millimeter frequency waves that they're using in 5G and the potential harm they can do from a biological perspective, they said, we've got to get this out so that we can then have the platform and the infrastructure to get 6G out.
Well, but
because there's too many smart people that are going to find out, and they already have, that this 5G is some dangerous shit.
did you see, I think it was last week or the week before in Australia, where there was a whole, they said it got so hot that's, the chickens just cooked on the sidewalks. That actually wasn't from the heat. That was actually from the test runs of the 6G networks, and it just cooked chickens right there on the sidewalks.
Holy crap. Now, waxing a bit metaphysical for a moment, if you think of...
By the way, Scotty, I'm just totally kidding. Before I forget, I'm just totally kidding about the 6G and chickens cooking. I don't want somebody to come and ask me, what's your link?
Oh, okay. I was going to ask what's your source on that.
And speaking of chickens, you know why chicken coops only have 2 doors?
Why is that?
Because if they had 4 doors, it'd be a chicken sedan.
Oh!
That was so funny, Bart.
And I got one more chicken. Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Why the egg, of course.
No. Rocky, you got any ideas?
I got nothing, my brother.
Say the chicken.
Well,
so you can be opposite me.
No, the truth is neither. The rooster came first.
As usual.
I'm sorry, Scotty. You go ahead.
Wow, that really tops my eschatological question. So, you knew scat had to be in there somewhere, but so a metaphysical question. This whole biblical prophecy notion of the idea that in the end times it was prophesied that man would no longer use currency, but the beast, the Antichrist, all of this would establish selling. You had to have the mark of the beast in your hand or in your forehead. Now, of course, they're talking about implants. They're talking about barcodes. They're talking about things that link to personal identity, where not only your finances are all run through this stuff, but also all your medical history, your medical records, everything you're talking about, sole proprietorship out there, or that's not the term you used. You know what I meant. And
having the provenance of the content of that and sovereignty of you, right? Mm-hmm.
So I start to wonder if some of these prophets were futurists, and they thought this is all going to come to an end. There's going to be something going on one of these days where all of this is going to change and be different.
Well, it certainly looks like there's some correlation between, some of those prophecies, the mark of the beast. You can certainly easily draw the analogy that the elite are the beasts, plural, of what's going on out there.
Sure.
If you look at how technology advances so rapidly and so intensely, right now we have our Uniblabs, which basically give us access to the entire body of knowledge in the known universe as it is today, being able to connect with anybody just about anywhere. So that is eventually, I would think, naturally going to become something that will first start as a wearable on your skin. And then, you've already got chipped implants.
Lick on tattoos.
Right? Yeah. And you can communicate through that little strip and the little chip and the dip and
I can see it now. Yeah,
make sure there's plenty
of Rocky Stucci.
Make sure there's plenty of guac in the bowl.
In the bowl.
Wow.
Gentlemen, we literally we just have a minute left before we need to go out and I know there's so much more that we can cover in regards to this. Bauer, we missed the hell out of you, brother. We're glad that you were on with us tonight, and let's not wait 2 weeks before we have you on again, brother.
Hey, you got my number. I'm just sitting around here waiting for you to call.
Yeah, well, I called last night and you were swearing at me, bro. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, that was because you were going on in 15 minutes. I wonder what the hell you were doing calling me.
Dude, it's business, man. I'm a busy dude, man. We're busy. You know what I'm saying, brother?
Yeah, obviously. Too busy to get ready for your own show and call somebody.
So you got to be careful to not
nothing else
professor. To do. You got to be careful not to catch the professor toking up in the hot tub.
Oh.
So you got to give him a little time.
Dude, maybe I want to catch him in the hot tub. What's up,
You know,
Bauer?
he just needs a boom mic coming in there. That's
Folks,
all.
we appreciate all of you being here. We have one more night tomorrow night. Make sure you are here. Join us on YouTube. Listen on iHeartRadio or Mojo 50 Radio. We love the hell out of each and every one of you. We do appreciate you guys taking your time out watching the live shows, listening to live shows, or listening to the rebroadcast. Ladies and gentlemen, rule number 1, don't take shit from nobody. Love the hell out of you guys. Good night, everybody.
Live long and prosper.